Hey guys, Furum here, and today I am going to be testing the McLaren MP4-31 in multiplayer. So this car came out a while back, and I never did a review on it, and I decided this would be a good time to make one. So my rank is 1732 with a standard tuning of 10-0-10-0 in Pro Kits, since the car has no max upgrades. So let's get to our first race and see how we do. Some of the races in this video will be single tanked, and some will be extra tanked, just to give you a good idea of how the car performs both with extra tank and without it, because not everyone runs extra tank all the time. I know I don't. I only run it probably about half the time or so when I'm in my Vulcan, more toward the end of the season. So I have passed the Trion Nemesis already, and the Vulcan is the one that is ahead of me. But he wrecked somewhere, and I'm not exactly sure what he wrecked on, but it allowed me to take the lead. So the car right behind me is a Max Pro'd 1805 Trion Nemesis. It goes barely any faster at all, maybe 2 miles per hour, than this car at 1732. I think I may have enough forced induction engines right now to Max Pro it, but I don't think I will, because guys, I bought the 5th SLK blueprint that I need in exclusive deals, so now I have 5 out of 18. I will be getting 13 for being top 2000 in the SLK Special Edition Cup. And I will probably use some of my forced induction V8s on that car instead, because I know you guys really want to see some videos about it. So we've come in first in this race, beating a Max Pro'd Trion Nemesis and a Max Pro'd Vulcan as well. Even though this car does best at Max Pro, it is certainly not too shabby at this rank either. Now for a race on Barcelona against a Camaro and a Vulcan as well. So the MP4-31, while not starting up nearly as fast as the MP4-25 or MP4-H, still does start up faster than the Vulcan, both at this rank and at Max Pro as well. That is probably one of its main advantages over the Vulcan, so if you're able to pro this car, I'm sorry if I say Max Pro, it is just a habit and it is very hard for me to stop saying that. Yeah, if you manage to pro this car and use it in multiplayer, it can get you to Champion League, although it is best to choose short tracks on one lap to give you the best chance against Vulcans. Now, the MP4-31, because its starting rank is so high, around 1630 something, it's kind of impossible to multiplayer tune it to a rank where it will not get paired with Max Pro Vulcans and still be good. It's also kind of difficult to drive, so those are two downsides to it. Even at 1732, I got paired most of the time with Max Pro'd S-Class cars like a Vulcan or a Trion Nemesis. This will happen pretty much with any car above 1700. If you're between 1680 and 1700, you have an interesting situation where most of the time you will get paired with lower cars, but occasionally you will still see a Max Pro'd Vulcan or the likes of that. So you can tune a car into that range if you're willing to put up with a Max Pro'd Vulcan once in a while. For me, I like staying just below 1680, as 4 of my cars are at 1679 rank. My Corvette Grand Sport, which I am planning to Max Pro, my Vulcan, my MP4-25, and my Porsche 918, which I will probably make another video about sometime. So I beat a Max Pro'd Camaro, a Max Pro'd Mazda GT3, but I got beat by a 1755 Aston Martin Vulcan. I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to beat a Camaro 2 laps on such a long and straight track. So now we have a race against a fully pro'd MP4-25, which as you can see starts up much faster, and a fully pro'd MP4-31 as well. That's another problem with playing with the MP4-31 at this rank, is you can get paired with pro'd ones of the same kind, which are obviously going to be faster, accelerate faster, and really be better in practically every way. Again, this is why I don't recommend tuning above 1700 on any car that you're still planning to multiplayer tune. If you go above 1700, you're probably best off just Max Proing it so you can more easily beat the cars that you're going to face anyway. So my tune is around 12 or so miles per hour slower than a fully pro'd one, which is the one up ahead, but it is only a couple miles per hour slower than a pro'd MP4-25 at 1766 rank. That is the car that is directly behind me, and throughout this race you will see him slowly catching up because he is just a little bit faster, and the car just ahead of me will begin to slowly pull away because he is quite a bit faster than me. So now I'll give you an update of my progress in the current events going on in Asphalt 8. I have completed 7 of 8 grand finales of the Rip Rod Championship, and I should be getting that in a few days. The Huayra BC R&D has come out, which I am going to be trying to get, but it requires a lot of money to upgrade, and I mean many millions, so I will be waiting a little bit to start that and farm in the meantime, so the video about that car may come out a little later. I am currently around 250 position on the SLK Multiplayer Cup with around 8,500 points. So I'm pretty sure I'm safe for top 2,000, even though I am going to continue playing, because I would like that 100 tokens in the top 500. But I will get the remaining 13 blueprints I need for the SLK and be able to assemble it. I know I said that earlier in the video, but that's just amazing, because I never thought I'd actually be able to obtain the SLK. So here we beat a Prod MP4-25, and now we have a race against another MP4-25, a Vulcan, and another MP4-31. And I think the Vulcan just trolled. He backed into the car behind him and then just continued forward. That has happened to me a few times in the SLK Multiplayer Cup, and it is really annoying when it happens. If they continue braking and backing into you so that you cannot go around them, what you should do is brake, go slightly backwards, and then turn to go around them. That's what I have done when that has happened to me. It doesn't happen to me much in normal multiplayer, except it may have happened once or twice in off-season. But for the most part, aside from this Vulcan back there, people will not usually do that in ticket races. So the car ahead of me is that Prod MP4-25, and the two cars behind me are a 1747 Vulcan, which is Dr. Illusion's tune, and I believe it is better than Max Pro, because it gives exactly the same acceleration and speed as a Max Pro Vulcan, less twitchy handling, less aggressive drifting, meaning you won't hit the inside when going around corners, and it gives better matchmaking as well. There is literally nothing better about a Max Pro Vulcan than a 1747, aside from better drifting, which isn't really all that much of an advantage when it's so good already. While I am not planning to upgrade my Vulcan past 1679, the rank I have it now, if I do ever decide to, say a better multiplayer car comes out, I will likely tune to 1747 as well. And that barrel roll didn't actually give me any barrel rolls. Usually in multiplayer I try to avoid going up it, but on the first lap it gave me a bunch of barrel rolls and filled up my nitro, and that was really nice, so I thought it would probably do it again on the second lap. The game loft was like, nope. The 1747 Vulcan has now passed the Prod MP4-25 and is now catching up to me very quickly, actually, because he is going about 13 miles per hour faster, I want to say, and then here I'm surprised I didn't knock him down, but my car just got shoved over, even though I pushed him to the side, and I'm really not sure what happened there. I'm really surprised that neither of us wrecked or got knocked down, but anyway, I still beat the Prod MP4-25. The MP4-31 kind of gets a bad rap among the F1 cars, but as you can see, it's really not terrible. And I'm not even at Max Prod, where it will be even better. So now we have a race on Rio de Janeiro against the same Vulcan that we raced last time, the same MP4-31 that we raced last time, and a different Prod MP4-25. This race was really hectic about this time when I was bumping into all sorts of different cars and stuff. Yeah, that's what happens when you play up at this rank, and another reason why I like my Vulcan tuned just slightly lower. I don't want all of my races to be heart-pounding, insanely close ones. Sometimes I like a bit of a breather. But I can still reach 2300 rating quite easily in my 1679 Vulcan, and unless you're planning to get to Elite League, there's really no reason to try for a much higher rating than that, because you will start in Champion next season at that rating, which allows me to get a larger number of points per race throughout the entire season, which is really nice. So, up here, this other MP4-31, which is the only car ahead of me, got put off the track. I don't think he wrecked because I didn't see the skull symbol, but yeah, that was actually quite a close race. He was another Prod MP4-31, Al Robot N. I've seen him quite a few times in multiplayer, as well as Jarko Z as well. It's funny, playing so often up near 1700 rank, I can learn to recognize people's names and predict what they're driving in a lot of cases, and it works pretty well actually. If there are a bunch of names who I know drive MP4-8s or something, for example, I'll likely choose a longer track in 2 laps. But if I recognize names that have, say, higher Vulcans or homages or something like that, I might choose a shorter track on 1 lap. You can actually get a pretty good advantage if you learn to spot names that, for example, you know you can beat and others that give you a hard time. There are a few people that I avoid in multiplayer. I'm not going to say their names, but they're really good drivers and they usually beat me, so I just leave the room when I see them. And there's other people that I really like racing against because they have high ratings and not so great cars, so those are really good ones to race against. So now I'll give my thoughts on the MP4-31. I know I've said it before, but it's really not a bad car at all. Even at this rank, it performs quite well. It does do better at Max Pro though, at a rank of 1813, where you can beat Vulcans if you're able to get used to its kind of mediocre nitro efficiency and also pick short tracks. Also, this car when fully pro'd out actually has the best farming race in the game. It gives 14,000 credits in just over 40 seconds, like 42 seconds or something, which is really good, but it's unfortunately very difficult to pro because of all of the custom racing engines needed, and it's flawless. So if you don't wreck, it's a really good one, but the 675 LT is still the best non-flawless one. Anyways, this MP4-31 is worth it. Its championship has come around twice, once when the car first came out, and once pretty recently. So here we beat a Max Pro'd trash can, I mean a Rash AF10, and a nearly Max Pro'd Camaro as well. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 multiplayer videos, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!